This proof of concept has been developed to showcase the proposed implementation method for the Staffing Resource Allocation Model application using SharePoint 2013, Excel services, actions and workflows. Stakeholders can get access to this workspace to assess the components themselves and to test the lists, tools and functions. Contact Brad Scott to arrange access. This demo application uses only two SharePoint lists, a schools list and a regions list, to provide a simple demonstration of interactions and demonstrate the way a SharePoint solution will best be provisioned to achieve the desired functionality. The region list is a simple list of 4 example regions and contains weighting values for the region. At present, this list contains only 2 values, but it's envisaged that all the system variables which are based upon locality will be stored here. You'll notice that this list contains values called P to 6 weight and 7 to 12 weight to demonstrate the use of such regionalised values in the final calculations for the solution. The schools list contains some basic identification fields and is associated with a user group so that the system can present views of the system data embedded throughout the workspace. The schools list also contains additional columns which are initially blank or contain calculated values. These calculated columns are very easy to update and are similar in function to the Visual Basic scripted formula in Excel. They're ideal for conducting calculations against other values which are also in the same list. When the data we wish to have in the schools list is not within the record itself, or is subject to regular updates or change, the system uses actions to gather and update data from other lists. To demonstrate this, we'll follow a value on its journey to the schools list. When a new entry is saved in the schools list, you'll notice that the P to 6 weight value is blank. When the record is saved, the actions automatically run, find the value in the region list where the region matches the record, and updates the schools list with the current weighting value, then recalculates the staff level based on the new value. This means that records we create or import into the system automatically gather and update the data and values they require to calculate and update other columns. As this same action runs each time a record is updated, we can be assured that the current values are always correct. Conversely, we can use similar functionality to apply updates throughout the system. From the Actions menu in the Regions list, we would simply select the Update Weightings action, and this will update all corresponding records in the schools list. When the schools list is updated, each record affected will then automatically recalculate the staff level based on the weighting. This is only a very simple example, but demonstrates how SharePoint lists, calculated values and actions are used to manage the resourcing data that will be held within the application. It also demonstrates the flexible nature of the proposed architecture, as business process and ongoing change can easily be affected by updating calculated columns or values in the associated lists. The solution we propose uses a third-party tool called InfoWise Ultimate Forms to reduce implementation timelines substantially and provide better security over individual school records and allow control of all system functionality by the business itself, with minimal support required by IT support resources. An example of this is the action we've just described of updating the P to 6 weight value. The solution incorporates a back-end administration suite which allows authorised business users to change actions, business logic, validations, create automated alerts, charts and reports with no requirement for IT involvement and with no code. Actions are easily updated and help is well documented, assuring a short learning curve for business users. Once initially deployed and handed over, the business can continue to fine-tune processes in a structured, managed fashion with developer support only required for major modifications. Another important function is the ability to design forms and interfaces with no knowledge of code required. This plugs a hole in out-of-the-box SharePoint functionality where forms are created by a developer to provide item-level security or preventing schools from seeing each other's records. The suite allows the configuration and management of permissions over tab pages, data views, and even list columns to assure the privacy of the school records and will reduce implementation time by hundreds of hours. It's proposed that a business user group would receive training in these tools very early in the implementation lifecycle so that they can assist with shaping the solution and finesse business rules and logic whilst the implementation is in train. Naturally, the solution contains the features you would expect in a modern SharePoint environment and is compliant with the requirements of the platform as specified. All list data can be exported to Excel and connected to Office applications. Power pivots and pivot tables can be created and delivered by Office Online applications or the Excel desktop application. Spreadsheets and reports generated are linked to the data contained in the lists, so getting the latest updates is as simple as refreshing the data connections with no need to create new copies of the spreadsheets. The ability to export spreadsheets is also the mechanism we would use for integration with EIP and other corporate systems. When required, the data is exported and saved as a CSV file ready for processing. Updating data is also a simple process. Lists can be updated using the data sheet view, which is essentially a browser spreadsheet interface. The ease of importing and exporting data is one of the great strengths of SharePoint and ensures that the business can get the data it needs in and out of the application. The front page demonstrates a simple dashboard example for associated school staff and the way they can interact with their model. The chart is just a quick example of another InfoWise component which allows us to easily deliver the user's charts displaying live data via the SharePoint site. Clicking the link opens the current record for their school and they see the tabs that they have permission to see. I've included some features such as a discussion area for each school to streamline communication as food for thought. To assist with your analysis of the proposed architecture, I've provided some links to assist with further research and solution comparison. There's a link to an example updatable spreadsheet connected to the schools list web part with a pivot chart and pivot table, a link to the Microsoft reference page for calculated fields, and the InfoWise product overview.